Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Apologies for the delayed start. We will be using our guest's laptop for the audio, but I will turn on my camera as well. Again, apologies for the delayed start. Sanyu, thank you very much for having given us the intro to what Powers of Wisdom is. And would like very much to thank, firstly, to apologize to our guest, Owek Kaddu Kiberu, for having interrupted his day's routine. And he's usually asleep at this time, but he very kindly accepted to be awake for our show and to give us the wisdoms that he has. So apologies for that, but thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. You're live. Thank you.
The live,
Only live.
before but the dead. Yeah, good morning, everybody, especially the Gayaza community. All the OGs.
And they're even OBs and
oh, even all wishers of Gayaza.
Yes. So we'll start with, we have some questions. Usually have, it's a general discussion, a conversation. It's very informal. So feel free to express yourself, to tell us off if you need to tell us off, because that's.
Yeah, I saw your questions. And if we are to go through everything, I think we are going to spend a day here. But I think you are mainly interested in knowing how to start a business, how to do a business. I think that is your main issue.
Not necessarily. It's also part of your life journey. How did you get to all those wisdoms on how to start a business? What were your experiences? And then
really, I must say it's a bit difficult to say that I did this because of that.
Yes.
Personally, it never happened. And if I could remember very well, whatever I had planned to do in life never materialized.
Okay. So perhaps we can start there.
So things just came up, and here I am.
We can start with, tell us a little bit about your childhood, where you grew up and your schooling days, and then we get into how you ended up where you are.
Yeah, the good thing we're exactly one of the places where I spent my childhood. This is Chigoma, and Chigoma is found in Busiro County, Wakiso District. A few kilometers from Kampala. And from here, I went to Lukuli. Lukuli, of course, you know Lukuli, it's Machi, India. And from Machi, India, I moved to Bukoto. And from Bukoto, of course, we moved to Majije. Those were my youthful days, really.
Okay.
But of course, when I was here in Chigoma, very, very young, there isn't much I can say. I did this, I did that, but the usual childish, ways of behavior. And when I went to Rukuli, that's when I really started the schooling. And from there, I went to Bukoto. Bukoto, that's when I was becoming a teenager. And I think teenage life is the one which is really very, very interesting.
You can tell us about that interesting.
Yeah, teenage life is very, very interesting. But through it peacefully. And nothing bad you did. Nothing bad you did to anybody. But I must say, teenage life is a terrible transition, because that is the period where you think you are the greatest of all. That's the period you don't care about anything. That is the period you think you know it all. But I just thank God personally that I went through this. You know, this business of, I'm lucky, I'm proud to say that I never ran out of my brother's house to go for these dances at night, because we used to have dances and what have you, and these are a very, very big attraction to children. But during my time, I think we had what we used to call Mazina Gawatini during daytime. You go at 2 o'clock, by 6 o'clock, everything is closed, and you go back home. Yeah, but on serious note now, I don't think that is what
You should find out, but we want to hear that because the childhood that we have and the journey that we have influences.
Yeah, yes,
navigate
yes, it influences very, very much. And that is especially when you're in the teenage whatever transition. That's where it influences so much. But some of us really, there wasn't much to see during that time. I think this is the time of Idi Amin. This is the time when I was in the secondary school. This is the time when my brother left his job to go and start a business. And same period, this is the time when I started working with him. So really, my youthful days, I can say, this isn't much. But working, especially, I don't know how I developed it. Working to help others. I think that is the most interesting part.
Just one interruption. For those who are listening, who he's referring to his brother, and this is his brother, Mr. Agase Kalala of Ugachi.
Yeah, Ugachi.
So he spent a lot of his growing up years with him. So when you hear references to that, that's who he's talking about.
Okay, so my involvement in helping others to be okay. I think it's a bit interesting, and I think I like it. How I developed it, I don't know. Just came. Like I said before, there are so many things I used to plan, but never materialized. So this issue comes up, and I think this I started in 90s, whereby I got involved with the CBS station, and we were asking ourselves, how can we help people in the rural areas? So Michael Kawoya, now the managing director of CBS, and one on Sereko are the ones who came up with the idea that I think it's always better to help people in the rural areas by giving them something, which later on they can also give to others. It's like a sadaka, zakah in Islam. Much as it is now being misused. It's same like the zakah. You help somebody so that tomorrow will be able to pay zakah. So this is a situation where we came in CBS, and we started an organization called PEWOSA. Project, we called it Project to Empower Women through Savings and loans. Now, before we came up with this, there was a project we were running, and that project was to give, so that you give somebody, for example, we used to give cows, you give somebody a cow, and you tell that somebody that when the cow produces, the calf should be given to someone else. But one thing we realized was that people don't value anything you give them for free. I think that's when I learned that people don't value what you give them for free. People value what they have worked for. So that's when we came up with this project, whereby you teach people how and then get loans from their savings and start business. We're talking about people in rural areas.
And I think it's true everywhere, even from own experiences. The times you've had something given for free, you don't appreciate it. I know from my experience growing up and getting all my things, my shopping list to my mother, Jaja Mami, and she would do all the shopping and deliver the things to me. It didn't, of course, I was appreciative at the time, but it really hit me when I went to study and the pocket money, I had to start spending it. So then you start valuing every single penny. Whereas before it's someone else's money, you don't really, don't really value it.
So we moved to PEWOSA system, whereby people must save their own money. It was not easy to encourage people to endorse this, because most people are spoiled. We're really spoiled, thinking that most of the time you must get free things. So we said, no, we shall teach you that there's nobody in this world who does not earn. Now, those who used to tell us that they are not earning for them, there is no way they can start keeping or saving money, then and of course the answer will be no. How do you eat? Yeah, because when I work and I get little money and I eat. So, oh, that's very good if you make little money. Now, that little money you get, whether it is 1,000 shillings, whether it is 10,000 shillings, is the one I want you to use. You eat and a little of it save. It was not easy, by the way, to convince these people. But somehow we managed to convince them. And these are the people of Nakauka.
Which year was this?
This was 2009. Nakauka, it was June 22nd. You know, there's a gombola called the Kakasanje. And that road will take you up to Mpiji. So we started from that area with about 30 groups of 20, 25 people. From Kasanje, we moved to Nakauka. From Nakauka, we moved to Mende. And we are spreading like fire. The only hindrance we had was money on our side, because wherever you move, you've got to go with the you go with the teachers to teach people how to do it. You go with the supervisors to supervise them on the projects they are working on. And now all these people in every village, you will end up leaving a bicycle in the village. you will end up leaving a motorcycle in a gombola because the gombola, I mean, yes, the chief will be moving around to see. No, you okay, mobilize at the same time to see these people who are they are working on. Are they doing everything in the same way, the proper way? Are they doing their savings in the proper way? Are they keeping money properly? You know, all sorts of things. So you've got to make sure there is somebody who is left in the village to monitor these projects. So we went on, and as I talk now, I think we have over 2,000. 30. Now we should be running to 2,000 because now we are now in the Mokota. You know, for us, because we are doing it through the kingdom of Uganda, that's why we use the Masaza, whatever, Magombola. But I think Mokota, I think, is also a district now of its own. We're in Mokota and we're in Butambala. Butambala is also a district.
Yes, you mentioned that the way you wanted to work it is similar to Zakah, that you give someone, empower them so that they themselves can also give back. Do you see that they're giving back, the original groups?
Oh, yes. They are really doing it. They are really doing it through their circles because the system we used is that, for example, here in my village, Goma, you have people, groups. They save individually. Then the other village, Bobujuko, you have another group. Then Bira, you have another group. Okay? These they collect money, those they collect money, and the other group. Then they form a circle. Okay. Okay. Now each group they will go to the circle to get the money. Okay. And then we have also a bigger circle for the whole county. Now we have Busiro circle. Okay. And we have offices that I think on Masaka Road. So that's how we've been doing it. And it's coming up well. It's coming up well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that one gives me satisfaction that people from the rural areas are coming up with the, to do their own businesses. People who never used to take children to school, they are now taking them to school, which is great, and I really like it. So that's where we are.
Okay, so I think as I said, this is a general conversation. So we'll go in and out of different areas. So you've seen people get better at managing their finances, producing things, and on a small scale. But before that, for many of you who are saying, you can see he's wearing a shirt of Peacock Paints. Tell us about starting Peacock Paints.
Now, Peacock Paints.
You were really in your youth when you did that.
Yeah, Peacock Paints, because most people knew me as a peacock. People have known me as peacock, much as I'm no longer there. I have retired, and fellow Gayaza OG is the one now running Peacock. So I think I started the Peacock in 1988. 88, I must say. So how do I start a Peacock? I must confess, I never planned to start Peacock. I had different ideas. A friend of mine just came up and said, Kadu, I've been running a paint manufactory and I want to quit. I will not mention names of friends and what have you, because I never discussed with him before I came here. Said, you want to quit? Said, yeah, if you're interested, buy. I went to my brother. I discussed this with him. They said, wait, you try and see. Because I was in trade. And in the business, my simple advice, when you want to start business, especially in a small way, don't start with the industries. Don't start with the big farming. No, start with the trading. Because trading is a straightforward thing. Put in your money, you get the product, you put it on the market and sell it. Your money is back. So when I decided I should buy, in fact, there were two industries together. That is the toilet paper and paint. Those who were there and during that time, you remember Swiss TP, which I closed afterwards. Reason being, when you are making a toilet paper, this is something to do almost to do the hygiene. And you see that roll as you see it. The way it is made proper, the machine has to tighten the roll so that it is so tight that nothing can penetrate in between. So that time we had competitors from Kenya. And these people, first and foremost, they were using cheap product, the paper. And then too, they were making a TP whereby even if you wanted to destroy it by pushing your fingers in between, you will just see it that, that meant hygienically that TP was not good. Because you place it there and anything can enter. And then later on you come and pick it, use it. So I continued with my style of making the proper toilet papers. Very tight, hygienically good. But I couldn't sell my products. People are they want cheap things. So eventually, I closed that industry. And I concentrated on the paint. I didn't know anything about paint. By the way, I've never run an industry. And all I had to do was to look for a good chemist, industrial chemist, to come and mix. That is all. Do the mixtures. Now, paint, unlike the toilet paper, I stuck to the quality. And the people appreciated because it was easy to see. Somebody paints, and after 2-3 months, you see the paint, you painted, nothing, you touch it, nothing comes out of it. So that one, people took it as a peacock, is the real paint. And we moved. So in 1997, but when I started Peacock, of course, I left my, I didn't leave, but I started doing it with my trading business. And if you could remember, trading business, I was doing it on 42 Parliament Avenue. That's where I had a small petrol station, which they used to call Jumbo Esso. So I was doing both businesses. But later on, I was forced to move to where the factory was, and that is 6th Street. Of course, this was an Indian owned building. I stayed there in that building. In fact, that building is just opposite where Peacock is today. So as I was operating Peacock and in that Indian building, again a friend came up, said, look here, we have premises we are selling, but if you're interested. So I asked for how the amount of money they were selling these the premises. I must say, when they told me the figure, said, where do I get all that money? So my friends were good enough, said, no, look here, Kadu, you don't need to, you need not to have all the amount of money. Yeah. You can give us a little and we'll give you time. So when they said that, I said, why not? Let me do it. And I took the premises, and we started working on the grounds, because there was a very small, a tiny building, which we broke, demolished, and put up the structure you see today. So by 1997, we had moved into our own.
My own building.
My own building. And that was my first big achievement in life. To own a building. And in Kampala City. Meanwhile, at the back, they were selling, City Council was selling plots. And we managed to buy some plots at the back. And
at the back of the building.
Yeah, at the back of the building. And we managed to put up stores there. So it was a complete unit whereby you have stores and you have machinery, and things moved on until the time when I left Peacock and I decided to go and rest. But in all, I think what is really important for those who are on this program to know is that when you are doing something, first and foremost, you must like what you are doing. You must like what you are doing. Because if you are doing something which you do not like, there is no success. No success. I'm just giving you a simple example. when you're still in school, I don't know whether it happened to you. Because but teen life is like I said, was terrible. You can develop disliking a teacher for reasons you don't even know. And you don't like a teacher, you don't like him, you don't like her. Literally, do we know that once you start discriminating, hating somebody, it means even the subject he or she is teaching, you won't go far with it. You see a teacher comes into the class and you switch off. You are there practically or physically, but mentally you're not. You should follow same. Get to like what you are doing, so that when you meet I think that is how I can express myself. And you do something when you like it, you can check on it, you can do what every time and then. This is one thing I've established. And of course, once you get to know what you are doing, then, once you get to like, then the next thing, you must ensure that you know each and everything about the product. Each and everything about the product. It will look very, very, I don't know how to call it, funny to ask you, hey, how is this product? When you are really doing it, you say, I don't know. Can't work that way. I was in entire business, but I came to like tires, motor vehicle tires. Whenever you see a tire, you must go see what is this size, what is the ply, what is the make. You ask, how does it perform? Because you want to compare with what you have. So that alone helped me a lot. Then there is the issue of financial discipline. Yes, we have auditors and what have you. But I must tell you, in your own business, you don't need to wait for for the auditor to come and check your books. You must learn how to check your own books. You must learn to know that the money you make goes to the bank account. Never, ever go to the till, get money for use. No. The money in the tills for the bank, not yours. But where we all fail, most people fail, you go to the till, ask the cashier, how much have you made today? Oh, sir, I've made so much. Oh, okay. Get me some money. Once you take it, finished. You are going to spend the way you want. Remember, business does not know friendship. Business doesn't know brothers. In business, you must always be strict. You collect your money, take it to the bank. You want to use the money, make a proper voucher for it. Draw the money from the bank. Because this money will be documented. That is one thing. Then the second point on taking money to the bank. Tomorrow, if you want to go to the bank to help you, if you are used to selling. After selling, use the money. You won't succeed. The first thing, the good thing, you're an accountant. The first thing the bank will ask you, how much money do you want? And of course, they will go to your account before they can do anything. And once they go to your account, see how much money has gone through your account for a whole year compared to what you want to get from them. Of course, what you want will be much more than what you've been taking, because remember, all the money you've been getting, you've been using it at source. Therefore, there is no reflection of that amount of money you are using at source on your bank account. And the bank will only tell you one thing: sorry, our dear customer, you are asking for a lot of money which you cannot manage. Because if we have not seen here for the whole year doing even a half of it, how can we entrust that on you, with you? Really, are you going to tell the bank that, oh, sorry, Mr. Bank Manager, I was using the money at the source? No. So financial discipline must be there.
So we'll take a quick pause at this point. So for all of you who've joined us today, thank you for joining us. We are here with Owek Kaddu Kiberu, who has told us about opening pick-up paints, Swisser toilet paper, and a tire business. And he said in his opening remarks that the way his life has gone is not what he planned. So, but he's taking advantage of the opportunities that came along. And for those that missed the start or missed the communications that went out, he is an industrialist. You know this. He has served on the board of Uganda Manufacturers Association for many years. He served, and then now he's not on the active board, but he continues to be consulted. And he served in the Kabaka's cabinet. He told us about PEWOSA. That's what he started with, something that he's very passionate about, and supporting people in rural areas. And then in 2019, he was awarded by Nkumba University an honorary doctorate of letters for his selfless service to development of manufacturing in Buganda and Uganda, which he has talked a little bit about. So we'll carry on the conversation. So tell us a little bit about what lessons you've passed on to your children. You've had experiences yourself. What lessons have you passed on to your children?
No, to my children,
all of us.
you see, to my children, there is nothing to pass on. They have to see. Like I said, I grew up with my brother. He never taught me anything, but I was seeing. And I must say, every child you see, most of the children, that's why they say, never mistreat or never do a bad thing in front of a kid. Most of the children you see, or most of the people now you see, of course, they were once children, they grew up in homes. Whatever transpired in homes is what they carry. So you don't need to teach. You just do things the proper way, and the children will pick it.
Yeah.
And I think working the way I am, I can attribute it to my brother. For him, he's a workaholic. He has no brother, he has no what. His brother is his business. Finish. No joke. I could see that. And in fact, I told you, I was doing trade, and my office was on Plot 2 Parliament Avenue. Then, after starting Peacock, then I said, no, I cannot run Peacock when I'm here. I must go where? This I learned from him.
Yes.
Because we were in Bukoto, then he bought the farm. The next thing, the man tells us, we are moving to Majiji. Of course, me, I knew where Majiji was. And then I asked him, how are we going to be in that village? Said, well, if you want to stay here, you stay here. For us, we are all going. Later on, I got to learn that if you want to perfect in a business, you must be where the business is. You sleep on your job. For example, this was a farm, working 24 hours almost. You had to be there. Huh? You don't go there, you work up to 6 o'clock and you say, I'm going home. And then when you're home, something happens at night. Nobody to give directions. By the time you come back in the morning, things are spoiled. So you must be on your job. Now, my children, they have seen how I'm working. If they want to learn, if they don't want to learn, they leave. There's nothing to teach, really. Huh? It's the way I've been, doing things. That's what they see. And how would they do the other way around? Because they don't know.
So effectively telling us to teach indirectly, do the right thing.
The right thing. Do the right thing. And they will follow. Especially, you do the right thing and everybody will see the results. Now they are seeing the results. Because if what I was doing was wrong, they wouldn't be carrying on the industry. It wouldn't be there, by the way. And now, and you see, there are stages in everything. For me, like I said, I couldn't start big things because one, the finances were not there, knowledge was not there. And I didn't even have assets. That unlike them, the finances are there, the assets are there, knowledge, they just Google. And they will see anything, they can go to the bank, they can get any amount of money because you've already made the name. It won't be difficult for them. So, the beginning, you must always ensure that everything is perfect.
So, our attendees, please you can raise your hands if you've got any questions. We'll have a Q&A right at the end in the last 15 to 20 minutes. But if you have any comments, we can take them in the chat box. I'll just have a quick read of what we have there currently, just to let us know who's saying
now
what.
before they come in, you are talking about services. Yes, I've done services, I must say, not only in Uganda, because most people know, because this has just, that's why I am still and the UMA, but so many other things I've done. Which I'm really proud of, I must say. You know, the problem you and how you never went to Makerere. You went to those universities abroad. But you see at Makerere, Department of Agriculture, students go to the main campus for 2 years. Then the third year, they go for practicals at Kabaka.
We've had a slight interruption to connectivity.
Sorry, it muted, it had gone. Oh.
Apologies for that. We had an interruption to the service. We're out here at Chigoma Farm, which is on slightly out of town, so connectivity can be a bit difficult. However, when we had the interruption, our guest decided to stretch his legs a little bit. As we said, he's been very kind and generous to let us interrupt his routine. He usually is he's awake, he's usually during the night, and I think these are benefits of having retired, so he can change his schedule the way he sees fit. But we would like to hear from you. Please do put any comments or questions in the chat, or you could wait for the Q&A right at the end for us to engage him in a direct Q&A. So if you've got any questions, please do put them through. But for those joining us, we have this as a regular occurrence. It typically is once a month. We've had some interruptions in the last few months where our guests were a bit difficult to get on dates, but God willing, we'll get that right back on schedule. It's a once a month activity where we speak to people who've gone with us. We literally sit at their feet and listen to their wisdoms, which we're doing today with Owek Kaddu Kiberu. So we're back online, and connection about so we're back now. We have a question. We have a comment. There's Mrs. Ruth Kavma on the Zoom call today as well. And
Sifa's headmistress.
yes, and our headmistress, so the two of us here as well. So she was your deputy. Yes, she was my headmistress. So thank you very much for joining us, Mrs. Kavma. Thank you for all the people who are on the call. And we have a question here. What is his take on investment in real estate? We'll take a session where we talk about investment and preparing for retirement, because it's very important. You retired well in your 50s and enjoying the life in the rural parts of town, which is no longer rural anymore. Actually, it's almost town.
Doctor was 58.
Yeah, so he's just saying he was 58 when he about yeah, you were talking about Kabanyoro when we got interrupted.
Yeah, so Professor Dumba Sentamu was the Vice Chancellor of Makerere. Of course, I was using Uganda Manufacturers Association forum to address all this. And at that time, we are looking at agriculture sector to see how it was not performing. And that's how we even came up with this. So, of course, we approached the government on this issue, and we had interaction with the Professor Dumba Sentam, and good enough, they restored the children. Students now go to Kabanyoro for their practicals, so which was a plus on our side. So that is a service also. I served the on the board of Uganda Revenue Authority for, I think, 14 years.
14.
14 years. And yeah, things really changed. And you see that that big store you see at Uganda Revenue Authority in Nakawa. Yeah, it was built during our time. Then I also served as a board member of Mulago Hospital. I think it was the first board and the last board, because I don't think there's any board anymore. Again, that's another one. I've been in sports. We've done so many things in sports.
Sports. That's Uganda level.
No, one time I was the chairman of a. We've done the little, but good for the country and myself.
No, but the thing is off.
We are on. We are on. I can hear you.
So I was telling you about Uganda Manufacturers. So
Recording in progress.
yeah, my brother Mr. Gasakalala, and Mr. the late James Murwana. I think these are the people we are working together to re-establish the Uganda Manufacturers Association, because this association had died almost, but they re-established it 1988, 87, 88. And okay, they started work in the Spear House. And the same time, that's when I started Peacock. But of course, I was still a young person. I was in 30s. So I really fit very well in their setup, because I was the young boy they could choose. Go do this, go do that, go that. To me, it was like I told you, what you do, the child will see. But later on, will take advantage. And this is exactly what happened to me. So when I was working with these two gentlemen at the Uganda Manufacturers Association, I was just following what they were doing and do whatever they asked me to do. But later on, I headed the trade fair department. That is 1989. I headed this department, trade fair department, up to 20, I think 202. That's a lot of time.
13 years.
Yeah, Minister Mlwana was the chairman. I was the chairman of the trade fair. And we did very well. We got the grounds at Logogo. I was very instrumental in seeing that things were put in order. Just get instructions from Mr. Mwana and make sure everything is done as what he wanted. And where I saw I needed to change, I could change. We made all the roads within the grounds. All those roads, Jaja Mami knows, they were bitakabiri bisoto. But we had to do everything. So that's how we set up Uganda Manufacturers Association, and it became a pressure group. By the way, the government could listen to Uganda Manufacturers Association in all budget presentation. No budget could come out without Uganda Manufacturers Association giving in what they think was right for this country. And we've gone like that up to today. The association is still advising the government on industrial development. And right now, I think we have even a bigger plan whereby we are advising the government on how to industrialize not only Namave, but the whole country. So that in every part of the country, there is something which is being done. Every part of the country, there is something which the other part of the country need to use. So that we start valuing each other.
Yes.
Instead of envying. Instead of envying somebody, you value, because you will be getting something from that person.
Yeah.
So that's what we are trying, so that every part of the country, there is something which is done. So we are on that project.
Okay. Interestingly, there's a message that's come through from Dr. Magichi Gozi. I wish to thank Owek Kaddu Kiberu for his work running the UMA Trade Fair. I joined the UMA later and learned a lot from him, Mr. Mlwana, the chair, and Mr. Sekalala, the treasurer, and the other members. Thank you now for sharing your.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we really worked with her. And
please do let us know if you're struggling with volume, because there's a participant who said the volume is low. Just let us know if you're struggling, and we'll try and do something about it. Make sure there are no obstructions on the devices. Okay, so I think anyone.
Are we answering questions or what?
We'll be taking questions in about 10 minutes. Well, I'd like to talk about how can we prepare for retirement. You said you retired in 58, at the age of 58. How can we prepare for retirement?
You see, the biggest problem the Africans we have, we do not want to retire. We think you've got to die on the job. But like I told you, I don't plan. This one I never planned, I must confess again, to retire. But sometimes in 2012, I was diagnosed with a problem with my heart. And they had to work on my heart. And in the process, I had to go through a theater. Of course, when you go to a theater, you almost got out of the theater. The first question I asked myself, supposing I didn't get out of the theater, what would have happened? Of Of course, I again answered myself. If I had not got out of the theater, then whoever is there, they will scramble for everything I've done. Then I asked myself, okay, they will scramble, but who will be the first to scramble? Of course, it will be the children. So I again asked myself, now, if it is the children, why can't they do it now when I'm still alive? So that's when I got this. And when I came back, because I was in Thailand, I told them to start working. Okay, that was 20, I think, fully to start fully was 2013. But this 2012, they started 2013. I felt I should not continue. At the time, because I was still energetic, there were so many things I wanted to do. Said, now, I'm not even going to do anything. Let them embark on such things. Me, I'm now tired. I leave it. So that's when I decided to retire. And since 2013, I've been watching. So again, one thing I have learned during the period is that when you retire, you don't retire to sleep 100%. You retire from work which can stress you, okay? But then you remain with work which cannot stress you, but beneficial to others. That's why I'm still very active as advisor with Uganda Manufacturers Association. We have an advisory council where I am a member. Our work is only to advise,
Not to implement.
not to implement or take active control. Somebody is there who is responsible. Our work is to call him, tell us, what have you done? And we advise accordingly. So it's PEWOSA. We are just advising. Once you keep yourself idle, even the brain will go. So you've got to be active. Today you caught me, this was my day off. So this was my day for sleeping. But I go to the villages. And when I'm going to the villages, there's no sleeping. To see what people there are doing. Right now, we're engaged in the cotton farming now. We are engaged in cotton farming. I want the people here to resume cotton growing.
Where can we find out about cotton growing?
We've started in Maokota, district of Maokota. That's where we've started. But you see, unfortunately, because we didn't have experience in this, it has been very, very difficult. A lot of sun, the drought hit us badly. The drought hit us badly. Pesticide was also another problem. But some of the farmers who persisted, we managed to harvest this. They are still harvesting. as you can
So
see.
for those
All,
who'd like to see, there's a bag
this is the cotton.
of cotton.
This is our 5-year plan.
Put it up. I don't think it.
Huh?
Have you seen cotton?
This is our 5-year plan to ensure that people grow cotton on top of coffee.
Have you ever seen it?
Because when we are growing up, we used to have 2 cash crops, cotton and
You take out the seeds,
And the coffee.
they grow.
And the beauty about cotton is that you take out the seed and these seeds, you crush it out of the oil, you get these fatty acids, you make soap, and you remain with your lint. So that's the beauty about cotton, really. And I'm really taking it very, very serious to ensure that we grow cotton.
So people can come and visit you here.
No, we go to them. Those who are interested. At least I've found some few farmers who have persisted in Maokota to grow this cotton. But the biggest problem I'm seeing, there is no land. Land is finished. People have no land. 1 acre, half an acre. See, for me, I said, whether it is a half an acre, you grow. If I can get 50 half acres, that would be 50 acres. So from Maokota, now I'm spreading, I'm going to Nkozi. Nkozi, I've already got farmers who are going to plant in March. Then I will also go to Mtambala to see if I can get farmers there. I will also go to Suju because these are the areas there. Because we must ensure that maybe in 5 years to come, we've started making clothes like we used to make. All the uniforms we used to put up were made in night in Jinja, Nettle factory at Ingeru. But today, nothing. So this one is eating my head. My time is now on this. Very, very busy. Very.
Thank you. We'll be opening up for questions in about. Actually, did quite tell us about what you do.
Now, in retirement, you see, to prepare for retirement, I think you should work knowing that one day you are going to retire. That is very, very important. You must know that one day I must retire. And if I am to retire, I must be with something. Like I said, you see, we learn most of these things from our elders. See, one day I was sitting with the lady Speaker of Uganda Luchiko, Hajj Makalu. You know, for him, always there, jokingly laughing. So one day he was saying, when the children, his children, you see, you must work very hard during your youth. There is some money with you to attract your children to be coming to visit you, so that when they are coming to visit you, they know they may get some money from you, not them bringing money to you. And that one stuck. I knew you must always, this one is now lead. we already have a general here. That one, that during you are youthful, but save it. So that when you're old, it will attract people to come and so that you don't die in loneliness. Because I was to come to you. You just call over Nango, you are Jandabeko. But now you don't even call. You are thinking they are coming because there is something for them. So I grew knowing that you must do some saving. You must do some saving so that children during your old age, children will be attracted to come to you. So I started saving slowly. I started investing. And I must tell you that I have been lucky. Because you see, in a business, I told you, you must like your business. You must know everything about your business. But one very, very, very important thing is luck. My industry site in Ntinda, I never planned for it. I don't want to deceive anybody. I was still trading because you see, the Baganda has this saying that
Things are attracted to the rich person.
You see, if somebody or if these brokers they are selling, they want to go to somebody they know has no money. They only come to the one who has money. So during your youth, again, I'm telling you, make money. So I was trading. By the way, I was the biggest in Uganda here, biggest tire trader. Yeah?
I knew you were trading in tires, but
I was the biggest. All these others you see now were coming up, they were coming to me. All NASA, South Street, they were all buying from me. Tires. Could bring trailer, cook. So I was the biggest tire importer. So one day, a man comes. Said, I have land to sell. Said, the land to sell? For what? You come and see the land. I had no interest in the buying. This in Tinder, you know Tinder. I had no interest at all. So I consulted my friend, now almost my brother, Hajj Kaddu Mukasa. No the way for him, everything. So we went to Tinder together. I saw the land, and of course money was there. From there, I paid. This is, I don't know how long ago, 26 million, I think. That's what I paid. That place. Long time ago. I went, I kept quiet. It turned into bush, it turned into what? As I was there, the same man comes again. Hey, Owek, Kakati, that place you bought in here, near that place, somebody is selling. This time I didn't ask. I said, okay, I'll buy. And I bought. That's why you see it is a little bit big. There was a plot from side and a plot another side. And we joined the road. So I bought in Tinder. And I started developing from the money I was getting from tires. You see?
So
I was developing in Tinder. Tinder was bushy. Even the road to that site wasn't there. I had to put it up, and I finished this structure. It took almost 15 years to be occupied. Nobody was interested to go there. It was like a village going to Mukondogulu. But today, it's another city. Today, it is another city, I'm telling you. And you see, one thing I must tell the youth, all those who want to develop, don't go for these lucrative areas and what have you, because it is too, the cost is too high, and you won't manage. You see, you go to a place further from the center where you will get something cheaper, and your time will come when
it's a lucrative.
it is lucrative. Yes. You see, because I bought in Tinda when it was bush. That area was nothing. But today, everybody wants to be in Tinda. So that's it. So I put up such things. Those are big stores. People, like I told you I retired. So all these were taken by those who are managing. Now they give me something also, and I eat.
So I think that kind of answers. There's a question here that says, what's your take on investment in real estate? You've talked about that, to go further out and where it's cheaper and affordable, and wait for your time.
In fact, now, because I said I don't want pressures, this is the time when you look at things and you think of something which you can do. But I always pass on the information to the children. So look here, there is this and this project. And if they want, they carry it on. If they don't want, they leave it.
Okay. So one final area before we go on to the Q&A. Everyone who knows Owek who call you Tata, Koja, whatever they call you, they know you to be a very decisive person. I think we can see that whereas you say you've been lucky in many areas, there's a lot of decisiveness in this. We know you to be very helpful, very loyal, very generous. And I'd like to ask you about how best can we maintain friendships? Because people know, I know you to be a person who's loyal to your friendships. How best can we do this? Because you've told me before.
But really,
our
we don't
know friendships.
That one, I don't know how to say that, but I think it is Kitone. Kitone means what?
A gift.
It's a gift, really. What talent?
It's a gift.
It's a gift from gifting the culture, because the problem we are having here, people do not have values for others. People do not appreciate what others do for them. People do not remember those who helped them. But one thing, if you really want to keep friendship, you've got to value your friends. You've got to appreciate what they do for you. And don't forget what they do for you. Even staying with somebody through your childhood, again, you must appreciate. Much as there are no financial gains, there are no what, but because you just wake up, you talk, hey, wange oli otya jendi, oli bulungi nti ndi bulungi abaana nti mukyala, that's enough. You must value that. But our biggest problem, we do not. Personally, I do. That's why you are here with me. Me, I wouldn't have woken up to come and to talk. Those are the values. Those are the appreciations. You must already, I think that is the most important thing.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Hour and a half with Owek Kaddu Kiberu. Those who, I'm sure you all know him, you joined in, but those who joined us for the first time, he is one of the founding active members of Uganda Manufacturers Association. He served on CBS, he served Uganda cabinet. He was one of the first people to actually, we didn't even talk about this, but one of the first people to actually own big bonded warehouses in the city. Again, through his journey, we've learned about the whole host of things, to like what you're doing and to take advantage of opportunities as they arise. We'll read something from the chat, but if you have any questions, please do raise your hand and we'll take them in the last 15 minutes. Raise your hands, let us know what you're thinking, and we will take questions in audio as well. So we have here one comment from, okay, we have Tim Lwanga, Mr. Tim Lwanga. Thank you very much for joining us. It says, Mr. Kaddu Kiberu is a great example of a Ugandan entrepreneur. I have enjoyed listening to his story, especially as a witness to all since 1988-89 to date. There's a lot to learn from his experience. Okay, and that was from Mr. Tim Lwanga. Thank you. And then we have Hamza Bunya joining us all the way from Seattle. Time of the night over there. He says, Koja Kaddu, thank you for being an amazing parent. Your life lessons and mentorship have always been beneficial to us all. We all pray for all. We pray for the long life and great health for you. And thank you very much, Hamza. Then we have Halima. This is Antongo. Great starter with great wisdom. You are surely loved. Thank you for mentoring and loving us unconditionally. So we've got those are some to add to the conversation, or you've got questions to come through. Have you got any interesting travel stories to tell us about? You've traveled. What any funny stories on your travels?
No funny stories. No, travels, by the way, when you talk about travels, I'm one person who does not go to an area just for visiting. Never. All the countries I've visited in my life, there must be sort of business venture to do. Then, of course, when you go, then there is leisure, but business first. This business of going to say, no, I'm going to. I don't have time for that, really.
Yes.
Apart from African countries I've visited, is when I'm following a football team. Most of the African countries I've visited is when we are following a football team. It's only one country in Africa, and that is Ghana, Accra, where I went. When you see, like I said, there are so many things we have done, and some of them are was forgetting. But Ghana You know, Uganda Revenue Authority, when they were establishing VAT into this country, there was a lot of objection from the traders. But the government here picked us to go. I was going there as a representative of Uganda Manufacturers Association. We went to Ghana and we started interviewing traders, manufacturers in Ghana, because already in Ghana they were already at it. CTL, VAT was had already been introduced, and apparently I think the man who was in URA at that time, if I could remember, Labisio, was from Ghana. So when he was telling us here about VAT, he told us, let us go to Ghana where this is working. So we went to Ghana, and when I came back, I made my report, presented to Uganda Manufacturers Association, and everybody said, okay, let's move. And we moved with the VAT. Again, I participated in that. So that's the only country where I went for business, not business, but but again, it's business because because we wanted to know if really we can use VAT. Yeah. But we found out that for us, VAT, we're just collecting money on behalf of somebody. Because if I'm selling something to you, I tell you my price, and from my price, I put there the VAT, which I'll pass on to the government. That is all. The only person maybe who would be hurt here is the user. So that's it. So my travels, the rest have been business. South Korea, I went to South Korea on several times, but business, purely business. Of course, you get there, they take you to beaches, they take you where, because you see those people there, those especially from the Koreans, the Japanese, they really know how to entertain a customer. You go after office work, then they will take you everywhere you want, restaurant, good restaurant, you eat, you do what, it's like, yeah, so that's it.
Okay, thank you. We've got a couple more comments here. We have Koja, this is from Aida Bunya. Koja, you are such an inspiration and will always be to all generations. Thank you for showing us what it means to be loyal and love unconditionally. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you good health and a long life. And another one from Masi. Such a great session, worth every minute, full of advisory tips and strategies. Thank you, Owek Tiwa. Okay, so we're approaching
I talked about South Korea, and I thought this is very good for people to know. I told you I started with trading, but this is the normal way for anybody to progress in a business. You have to start with trading. These companies I was dealing with in South Korea, most of them, they have a trading house. From trading house, then they go to real estate, manufacturing. All of them, name them. You hear Sangyong, you hear Hankook, trading houses. For them, they work is to ensure that they go to different ways, sell their products abroad, and within they get money, then they come with a company called Cologne International Corporation. It's a trading house, but later on, they started manufacturing clothes.
Yeah.
And at one time, and even when they go to Nigeria, there is something which discourages them. Otherwise, it would be me here, there in Virginia now. But something discouraged them after they had everything was, they had got okay everywhere. We met the president, everybody had said okay. But then the chief executive of Cologne came here, did the inspection of Nitel, and what the list of, I think, machinery they had given him, he found out that some of the machinery was already missing. Said, no, we cannot go with this one. Let's leave it. Or let's see what can be done. But of course, by the time they decided on, somebody else had already jumped on the wagon. So that's the thing. Trading first. Then, because by the time you do the trading, you know how to deal with money, you know how to save, you know what and what. So when you go into manufacturing.
Thank you very much for that. We have a hand raised here by Mrs. Kavuma. Mrs. Kavuma, please unmute and tell us what you've got to say.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hajj Kaddu, for the talk. Hajj Kaddu, I'd like you to just tell us something about what you could have learned during your stay on Bokassa Island as a child. And and also I'd like to ask you, what do you really enjoy during retirement? Where is your passion? I mean, retirement comes to all of us. I'll just give myself. I like retirement because I'm at home. I'm in Sese Islands looking at the water all the time. So I'm enjoying it. What are you enjoying during retirement?
Bokassa Island is now, she's taking me very far back. Bokassa Island, I was there when I was in secondary school. During my holidays, we could go to Bokassa. And I know his father was a Saza chief. And his father was a very good friend of Mr. Sekala. So his father gave us land to start growing pineapples. My dear, during the holidays, I could go and work there. It was all fun. But you saw those days, Ruth, really. What can you say about those days? Those days when you care for nothing, you don't have anything, as long as you get your food, you do what? But today, when I think about Bokassa Island, if I was given a chance to go back to Bokassa Island, I think I'll do great because it's such a nice place. Whatever you want there, they have nice beaches, they have good forests. I think it's a very, very good place. Maybe I could even ask you, Rose, why haven't you done something in Bokassa, really? Because we did the pineapples, we did go rearing, but that time I think the biggest island was transportation. You could not transport, say, the Nanansi at the time when you wanted to. You could not transport the goats the time when you wanted it to. We had the one big boat which was coming from Luzira. That was the only main transport we were using. And me, the small boats, okay, they were there in plenty, but I was not a fan for those boats. But otherwise, Bokassa is such a very good place. And by the way, her father, had a how do you call it? Had a lodge in Bokassa. His father was using a boat, had a boat, a good one, for taking tourists to that place. And the people used to like to go because they go, they have a place where to stay, they have a very good beach, and they could go around because I'm sure it is good. Okay, I've taken long without going to Bokassa, maybe now coming to 10, 15 years since I was there, but I'm sure it is still good, and something very good can be done on the island. I can't tell Ruth that let's go and do something because now that time is over. Maybe for the children, we should talk to our children, Ruth, to see that they do something at the island.
The other question, what are you enjoying about retirement?
Well, what I'm really enjoying about retirement is peace of mind. There's no pressure. I told you, there's no pressure. These pressures we used to go through. For example, now you don't have the pressure. Got sunk. I got that experience once. I was bringing goods from UK. When I was I was still with the petrol station, time of importing tires, motor vehicle accessories, and what have you. And fortunately, it was insured and I was paid back. But today, they tell you the ship was sunk. I think you also sink with the ship. Because the shock absorbers are no longer there. So that's why I'm saying I'm really enjoying myself. There is nothing to worry me. Really nothing. Nothing to worry me. I take things the way they come.
You sleep when you want, you eat.
I sleep when I want. I eat
you
want.
You eat when you want.
Yeah, I don't have anybody to say you're not in the office. I don't have anybody to tell me there's no report because whatever I'm doing is on voluntary. So nobody will call me and say, "Hey, Kaddu, you must be here this time." I say, "No, I'm a retired man." And now I've made it known to everybody who wants me. It's only after 2 o'clock you can get me, unless a day when I'm going to Mawakota to check on the and my PEWOSA people. Because the PEWOSA people, I'm still interested. I'm still interested in these PEWOSA people. PEWOSA people, we must make these people in the rural areas grow. We must make them look after themselves. Because remember, you are having children who are going to stay, children and grandchildren, to stay with those people. And those people, if you don't advise them to do something for themselves, they are going to be a very big burden to your own. So it's better you help them. You may think, why do you help them? But you are helping yourself indirectly to the society, not the people who will just be, oh, mama, mama, you know. So when I think of such things, I really said, no, I must ensure that we go to this area, we go to the other area. And I think, Ruth, let's make it a point that we go to Bokassa and we do the same.
Okay, thank you very much. We've come to the end of our session this morning. Thank you very much. We've enjoyed every minute of it. Some of these stories, obviously, even if I've had some of them before, it's good to hear them again with such passion and enthusiasm. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. But before we go, any final thing that you feel you haven't told us about?
Tebiriiwo kati.
The video.
Kuba munne tebagiriise leero.
No.
Omukazi agenze bugenzi.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And please do look out for our next guests. We will line them up and we'll let them know. Okay, I've got a suggestion here. I think one of the people on the call, I'm going to be on the call to you very soon because I've got.
And Ruth will make sure that guest comes.
Yes, yes. And okay, we'll work on that. And we will talk about this. If you'd like to be added to our WhatsApp communication channels or our email addresses, let me send a message to where you can reach me on, so we can add you to our mailing list. Please do contact us 0783. Okay, please use that number on the. Oops, sorry. Technology. Someone sent me a direct message just as I was typing this. Thank you very much for joining. But if you'd like us to add you to our mailing list, please send a message to me on that line that's in the group. And if you've got suggestions of guests and people that you would really like to listen to on a wider forum such as this one, please do come get in touch as well and let us know. Again, we'd like to thank all of you for joining us today. You've taken time out to listen to our guest today, Owek Kaddu Kiberu. We've listened to his story. I don't think there's enough time to listen to everything that he has, but he's given us a few and very, very good pearls of wisdom, some of which are, we do not value what we're given for free. So let's go out and value those things that we are given. Know that we work for. So let's not look out for things that are free, as people don't value those things. Let's go out and work for them. And then starting business in a small way. Start with trading. It's straightforward. And I think he came back to that as well in the end. Start with trading. It generates you the cash to go to your other ventures. You must know each and everything about the product that you have. We've been told about financial discipline. This is something very important. And then knowing that businesses do not know friendships, keeping those two very separate. We've got an email address there as well, if you'd like to send emails as well, or you can send us your email addresses, we'll contact you. And then never do, in terms of teaching the younger ones, it's an indirect teaching that he told us about, to always do the right thing in front of the children. They will learn from that. So if you've enjoyed this this program and you know someone missed it, please advise them that we'll be sharing this program on YouTube for those who missed it. We'll share the details. You'll get them through the same channels as you got to know about this. But you can watch it again yourself or advise others to catch it. It will be available at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. 8 p.m. Tuesday, Uganda time, because we've got, inshallah, we'll have it aired for those who missed it or for those who would like to relive the lessons learned. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good weekend and see you next time when we have our next guest. Thank you.